Welcome to the Double R Show, the podcast that features everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, directed and produced by Paul Robertson and hosted by the voice of Lincoln City, Roger Robertson.
Well, thank you, John, and welcome to the Double R Show. Double R here, along with son Paul. And we've got an interesting program again today. 3 different fields, if you will.
3 fields, yeah.
3 fields.
I like
We're going to talk sports, a couple of different sports. We're going to talk about birds and the hospital.
Ah, it's brilliant.
3 fields. All coming up right after this.
Saturday, December 7th, it's a rock and roll rewind as Chinook Winds presents for one show only the legendary Chubby Checker.
Come on, baby. Let's do that. Come on, let's twist again.
Tickets start at $45. Call 888-MAIN-ACT in person at the Chinook Winds box office or at ChinookWinds.com. Chubby Checker, December 7th at Chinook Winds, where concerts are better at the beach.
Coach Jake Tolan, it was a wonderful football season.
Yeah, it was definitely a wonderful season. You know, it started with tremendous numbers in the fall, and we had talked about how this could have the potential to be a good season with a lot of seniors and just leadership on the team. And, wins and losses aside, 8-win season, I don't think, we've had an 8-win season for quite some time. We haven't won a playoff game since 1999, I believe. So, yeah, those are measures that it was a successful year. But, the kids played hard. They competed. Even in our loss in the playoffs, we go 8 hours on the road and play a Saturday game, which is a first for all of us. Played a tough opponent in Vail, came up short in the end. But, I was really proud of how the kids competed every game throughout the season. It never felt like we were out of a game, even in the 3 losses that we had. We nearly won a league championship. So, yeah, all in all, it was a very successful season in a lot of ways, not just, the fact that we made the playoffs.
And I would have to think the team was really ecstatic over the way they competed as well.
Yeah. Obviously, every time you start a season, you have goals, whether they're lofty or not. And, I know a lot of the kids, you could just tell by the emotions after we lost on Saturday. It's hard to control your emotions, especially for seniors who have, essentially played their last football game. As coaches as well, because, you work with them for 4 years and they become a part of your family. So we had a very close-knit group and they grew and developed as teammates over the year, and they really played for each other. So you could definitely see that, like I said, in the emotions after that Vail game. But great group of guys. Like I said, the majority of those seniors were 4-year players for me. They will definitely be missed. And I told them, they've kind of started a new legacy, a new tradition here at Taft. So
You've got a number of the juniors that'll be back with you again next year.
Yes. We have some really good juniors coming back. Cole Tolan, Zach Hankins, both first-teamers, first-team receivers, all-league defensive backs. We have our linebackers, Riley Gilbreth and Logan Lavelle. Both of them are, all-league linebackers. Jorge Cruz was a sophomore. He ended up getting defensive back of the league. And then we have some other role players that were kind of some role players this year, but definitely are going to have to fill those shoes. So, yeah, you look on paper, we're graduating 15 kids, but we really have some tremendous football players coming back as well. So that's exciting.
Okay, now let's look into the next sport that you're coaching, girls basketball. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Like I said, it was a quick turnaround, didn't get much of a break. Normally you get a couple weeks off, but, that's kind of the luxury, I guess, of going deep in the playoffs. We have high expectations for our girls team. We made the playoffs last year and lost in the first round at Valley Catholic. Definitely that's kind of our goal this year, is to take that next step as a program. We ended up finishing 3rd in league last year. I see us competing for the top 2 spots this year with the pieces that we have back. We had 23 girls turn out for 2 teams, so we're kind of in the process of going through tryouts. But like I said, this could be another playoff-type run for my girls this year. We've got great leadership, some incoming freshmen that are really pushing those older kids. So I think this will be another competitive season for our girls program.
Does it surprise you, the turnaround in athletics at Taft High School?
I mean, it's always nice to see success and people think turnaround, but, like I've been plugging along for 8 or 9 years as a head coach in football, and COVID really kind of stalled some of that progress. But the girls, I think this is year 7, and we've kind of been taking small steps forward over the last 6-7 years. It's just hard work pays off, not just by myself, but mostly for the kids and all the work we really do over the summer. We put a lot of time in the summer with summer camps in basketball and stuff we do over summer football. I think that's really been the difference lately. It's just the time and efforts the kids are putting in over the off season.
So the basketball season gets underway officially. First game is when and where?
First game is going to be December 4th. I believe that's a road game for us down in Siusula High School in Florence. And then I think we start our home season against Neocani that following Friday. So, yeah, it's right around the corner. The boys, they have a good competitive team as well. Both of our programs made the playoffs last year, both exited out in the first round. And I think Coach Littlebow would probably have the same goals as we do, as we, ultimately both our programs want to make that final side at Coos Bay. That's where the top 8 teams play the state tournament. And so that's kind of our program's goals right now. That's kind of what we're looking to take the next step at Taft in basketball. And I think it's doable for both programs. I
think you also got wrestling. Not that you're the wrestling coach, but wrestling as well.
No, yeah, wrestling's got, I think, 25 kids out right now. That's a tough sport. I coach wrestling once or twice, but usually there's quite a few kids that turn out, and if kids aren't really familiar with wrestling, they quickly realize that it is a very physically demanding sport. So those numbers kind of dwindle. But we have a new coach, Coach Stevens, I believe. He's a new teacher here at Taft. He's well liked by the kids. I think he's got a lot of energy and excitement for the program. And like I said, the turnout shows that kids are excited about wrestling. So
again, Coach, congratulations on the football season that has just ended, and best of luck in the basketball season about to get underway.
I appreciate it. And like I said, thank you for giving our program some, publicity and notoriety and just keeping the public informed on what kids are doing here at Taft. So
go Tigers.
Northwest Septic Service is your one-stop shop for all your septic needs.
Northwest Septic Service offers pumping, maintenance, repair, and inspections with one call, 541-994-6977.
Buying or selling a home? Northwest Septic Service can inspect your sewer line or an entire septic system.
Old or failing septic system? Northwest Septic Service can rejuvenate most drain fields, saving you thousands of dollars. 541-994-6977.
Serving Lincoln, Tillamook, and Yamhill counties, Northwest Septic Service. If you're looking for great early garden fresh produce, it's Kenny's IGA in the Bay Area of Lincoln City. 4 generations of Morgans caring for your every grocery need. All of your favorite beverages, a full deli, meat, produce, and of course, groceries.
We may be young, but we are experienced. Hi, Adina Zeller here, and Zeller's restaurants are now a year old, but the experience in preparing and serving food goes way back generations. Zeller's Lincoln City and Rose Lodge. Come on in.
The Seven Capes Bird Alliance, along with the Mid-Willamette Bird Alliance, the Coast Range Association, and the Sierra Club Oregon chapter, and the Wild Salmon Center, is pleased to announce a webinar series on the vital connection between the coastal forest and the marine ecosystem. With us is Nissa Parker, and Nissa is with the Seven Capes Bird Alliance, formerly the Audubon Society in Lincoln City, correct?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, the activity that you have forthcoming is what we want to talk about. But first off, what is the Seven Capes Bird Alliance?
So we are our local Audubon chapter. We serve Lincoln and Tillamook counties. Basically what that means is that we're a conservation organization that's focused on birds. Birds are kind of our central focus, but our work expands far beyond that to working on coastal habitat, forests. We do a lot of education programs as well, community science. So those are our 3 pillars: conservation, education, and community science.
You get your hands full.
Yeah, it's a lot of work for a small volunteer-led organization.
Now, the activity that you have forthcoming that we wanted to talk about comes up on Monday, December 2nd, and this is what?
So we are hosting a 3-part webinar series. The first one is coming up, like you said, on December 2nd. The webinars are focused on, like you said, the interconnections between the forest and the sea. The first one is called Old Forests Do It Best as Natural Climate Solutions, and this is going to be presented by Dr. Dominic De La Sala. That is the first webinar in the series, and we have a couple more after that coming up, so keep your eyes peeled for that.
Now, who can attend?
Anyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why should somebody attend?
Well, we'd love to have you there. Like I said, we're exploring the connections between the forest and the sea. So these are our two really iconic ecosystems on the Oregon coast. Of course, we've got the ocean and we've got our coastal forests. And what a lot of people don't know is how interconnected these two systems are. There's a lot of transfer going on between these two systems. So we want to highlight those connections and how important it is that we conserve both the marine and the forest ecosystems so that those connections can stay healthy and both systems can stay vital.
You mentioned a statement, transfers. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, so I can think of a couple of really good examples.
Okay.
When we think about the forest and the sea, of course, you can think about the water that goes through the forest and into the sea. The forests filter that water, it makes it more healthy. But also there's a transfer in the other direction as well. You can think about the anadromous salmon that a lot of people are, of course, very familiar with living out here on the coast. One thing that happens is that when the salmon come up to spawn, after that, they die. And that decomposing organic material goes directly into the forest and feeds the entire forest ecosystem. So that's a really vital connection. Another one I can think of is the marbled murrelet. It's a seabird that spends almost all of the time really far out at sea. But then they come back to nest in the really high treetops of old-growth forests. So those are just two examples of this transfer, this flow that's happening both directions from the forest and the sea and back.
When people think of the Audubon Society, the first thing that comes to mind is birds, but it's more than that.
Yeah, I mean, birds are a great iconic symbol for the Audubon Society because, you know, they're everywhere. We see them, we have a relationship with them, but they're part of greater natural ecosystem.
Do you have some activities forthcoming where people will be able to go out with an expert, if you will, looking for and identifying birds?
Yeah, we host bird walks every month. You can keep up with us on our Facebook, our Instagram, and on our website. We host at least one bird walk every month, sometimes two. They're a lot of fun. I just went on one the other week on a Saturday walk, and it's a lot of fun because, like I said, you can see birds everywhere, but to really go pay attention and look for and be able to identify specific birds just adds a whole new layer to your outdoor experience.
I would think that this time of year you got a lot of migratory birds coming in. We got our birds leaving, migratory birds coming. Is that true?
Yeah, we just had our big fall migration. It peaks in early October, late September. But right now, a really great thing to go look for is ducks. We have a lot of ducks that come here for the winter. They spend their summers and their breeding season really far north in Canada and the Arctic. So they come down here. This is their south for the winter. So we have a great variety of different ducks. They tend to be very colorful, very charismatic. That's a great thing to look for this time of the year.
Well, not only do we have the ocean, but we've got the lake and we got lots of rivers. I assume that there's a lot of inland type birds that roost in the trees and whatever would happen to be that you go out looking for as well.
Yeah, it's a really awesome spot to be here on the coast for birding in particular. It's, we have our little backyard birds, things that you can see when you go to, inland to the valley and everything. But then you also have these awesome coastal bird species that you can't really see unless you're at the coast. So
I would think as well that there's a number of people that come from the valley just for birding.
Yeah, we actually have some regulars on our bird walks that come specifically to Lincoln City for our bird walks to see all the different species that we have here. And I can absolutely guarantee that extends to the greater birding community as well. A lot of people come out here.
And again, the activity that you've got forthcoming that the Seven Capes Bird Alliance has is what and when?
It is a webinar. So the first one that is coming up is on December 2nd. That'll be from 3 to 4:30 p.m., and that is Old Forests Do It Best as Natural Climate Solutions. And then we have a couple more after that, one in January and one in February. We'll have Conrad Gowell on talking about salmon and our coastal streams on January 8th, and Dr. Matthew Betts talking about managing forests for bird conservation on February 5th. The overall title of the webinar series is Timber and Tides. So if you go to our website, sevencapes.org/timber and tides, you can find all of the information there, as well as registration links.
Are you ready to spin and win on the Harvest Wheel of Riches? Win up to $10,000 instantly with just a quick whirl of the wheel. Play for your chance to win this November. Drawings on Sundays here at Chinook Winds, where it's better at the beach.
Wouldn't it be great to have all your insurance needs handled by one agency? This is Charlotte Lado with Farmers Insurance and the Insurance Store. Visit our office next to the Wildflower Grill in Lincoln City. Let us be your one stop for your personal, commercial, health, and Medicare insurance needs.
Welcome back to the Double R Show. Our next guest is Dr. Leslie Ogden, the CEO of Samaritan North Lincoln Hospital and Pacific Communities Hospital down in Newport. Always love having her here because you've got good news today in particular. Very good news.
Very good news because we are celebrating National Rural Health Day.
And that means what?
That means that we are celebrating what is unique about rural health care, and we have a lot that is unique about us. In particular, I don't think a lot of people understand there are 61 million people, that's almost 20% of the population of the United States that lives in a rural area. And that's about 86%, however, of the country's land area.
Oh, my.
And so there is a lot of rural health care being given in these areas. But here's the catch. Rural communities face a disproportionate shortage of qualified healthcare workers. I'm sure that most of us who live in rural areas understand this, but we've got basically a lot of land mass and a lot of people to take care of. And we've got to do it in a already sort of compromised position. But I'll tell you, in a lot of cases, we do a delightful job. And so we want to take this opportunity to say, yes, we recognize we're different. Yes, we recognize there's challenges, but we also celebrate the health care that we are able to give.
It is critically important that the hospital, especially our two hospitals, remain here for the benefit of this county. Rural communities could not exist without it.
In many cases across the nation, we have seen an acceleration of hospitals actually shuttering for, mostly financial reasons, but also in some cases an inability to attract those necessary healthcare workers that they need. So yeah, it's not anything we should take for granted because there are so many places that have unfortunately not been able to continue with the vibrant healthcare that they had in the past.
You luck out, or I shouldn't say luck out, you have got a leg up, if you will, because of where we live.
Right. I mean, we're very lucky that we live in a place that people want to live and that people keep coming to live, right? Because we're a growing area and people like to visit. So for all of those reasons, we can continue to support ourselves, basically, with our own hospitals and don't have to think about, side effect of having hospitals that aren't successful because those are the ones that close.
Dr. Ogden is our guest. I wanted to go a little bit further into this notion of the local hospital and the ability to attract qualified medical doctors. It's not an easy task, but it is a formidable task that you have to undertake constantly, right?
Right. And in new and innovative ways, because we've talked about it previously, that some of that comes down to attracting talent. Some of it comes down to creating talent because we have programs with our local community college, for example, to develop our own nurses. We now have our own residency program in family medicine to create our own doctors. Some of it comes down to retaining talent, and some of it comes down to being very innovative about how you deliver health care in order to be successful in this environment.
So what is the best thing that you've got going to attract that talent, in your estimation, for Newport and Lincoln City?
Yeah, well, we've done a lot of different things. We have, for example, we have changed how we recruit. We understand that we recruit on a national basis for our jobs, right? We're not just going to walk down the street and find the doctors that we need. much less all the nurses that we need and all the imaging technologists and everything else, lab professionals. So we need to be able to stand toe-to-toe with everyone else who's out there on a national basis recruiting. So doing that on national platforms and being able to offer competitive wages and competitive benefits is huge. And so we have really had to think differently about how we do things and step up our game to make sure that if someone even thinks about coming here, that we're attractive to them and that they'll want to come for an interview and be a part of our medical community.
I would have to think that having two hospitals 26 miles apart does have an effect on your ability to attract medical staff.
Well, we're in a healthcare shortage area throughout the entire...
Still are.
Exactly, throughout the entire county. So what that means is there's not enough healthcare professionals. Mind you, we're also in a dental shortage area and a behavioral health shortage area. So they're in all of these areas. We don't have enough professionals, whether it be medical, dental, or behavioral health, to satisfy the needs of our population.
Okay. And again, the hospitals in Lincoln City and Newport did what to recognize National Rural Health Day?
Well, we're going to have some tables set up just so that visitors coming in and out can get a little treat, can get a little education, can say Happy National Rural Health Day to each other because, you know, it's fabulous and they're delivering health care in real time on those days. But we're also going to have some social media information, you know, out on our feeds. People can see that it's National Rural Health Day, celebrate with us, say thank you if you get a chance to your family member, friend, whoever is in the healthcare industry, tell them thank you for practicing in a rural healthcare environment because it is so important. They could be other places and they choose to be here with us.
And it all
we love
starts
that.
today?
And it all starts today.
Bob's Beach Books in the Ocean Lake area of Lincoln City does in fact have what you'll want to read. I'm Diana Portwood, and if we happen to be out of a particular bestseller, in a day or two, we'll have it back in the store waiting for you. Bob's Beach Books, so you can join the conversation.
We at La Roca are proud of our food, but don't take our word for it. Read the reviews. One person wrote, the service was friendly and efficient. Another writes, La Roca has become one of our favorites because it's authentic Mexican food.
Well, before we close out the program, I'd like to remind everybody the annual Festival of the Trees, sponsored by Angels Anonymous, takes place up at Chinook Winds Casino Resort. Please buy your tickets this week. Go up to the Lincoln City Chamber of Commerce, buy your tickets up there, or go online. You can go online, order them up, get them paid for, and pick out your table as well. So both sources are available to you. Thanks to all of the people that have sponsored trees. I think right now, Paul, we get like 19 trees. I have no idea how many wreaths, lots of different prizes. And if you've got an item you would like to offer up to Angels for one of the raffle prizes, please give us a call, send us an email, and we'd be more than happy to come pick it up from you.
Fantastic.
And you have your tickets. I got my tickets.
I do,
we will be there.
That's right. Yeah, I look forward to it.
Festival of the Trees coming up, sponsored by Angels Anonymous. It's not Hickory Dickory Dock. It's Decking the Dock. It's coming up right now on Southwest 51st Street, sponsored by the Lincoln City Parks Department. This is December 5, Friday at 5 p.m. They turn on the lights. I think it's a spectacular sight.
It's been a fantastic event year after year now, and the decorations are just getting grander and grander, and I just hope to see everybody down there.
And something that you helped start, they've got the On the Beach Siletz Bay Splash.
Okay, right. Yeah, that's coming up New Year's Day then, right? So
yeah, that'd be New Year's Day.
10 o'clock sharp down there at Taft Beach down there in the Bay Area. Just come in and join the throngs of people, and I saw an aerial photo of the event from previous years. It's turned out to be a really big event.
It
and
really
Jeannie and her
is.
team are just doing a great job.
It really is. It is amazing the number of people that show up and get in.
Right.
Not just the people like myself that stand and apply.
It's got to be some standard buys.
You
or
got to
whatever,
be
yeah.
some standard buys.
Yeah.
Big Band Music and Dance, sponsored by Lincoln City Pops, coming up the third Thursday of every month, 7 to 9:30. Out at the Glen Eden Beach Community Club. Admission is $10. At the door, cash only, please. Complimentary dance lessons get underway around about 6 o'clock. Is that something that you were leading, the complimentary dance lessons?
It's not.
Oh, was
okay.
not.
But thanks for asking.
I just thought I'd bring it up. And if you are a person that is looking for a place to volunteer, might I suggest Meals on Wheels at the Lincoln City Community Center. Stop in and talk to Dave Jameson and the rest of the staff there and find out how you can, in fact, become part of Meals on Wheels and really can offer up a service to the community. And we got a cruise party April 22nd through the 26th. I want to thank Estelle Harlan, Dr. Estelle Harlan, for helping lead this. She delivered Rotary Reese to us today, and now she's working on putting together this cruise tour information leaving from Vancouver, BC on April 22nd, the 22nd through the 26th, and that is in April, but you need to get your reservation in as soon as possible. Your side of the table?
Yeah, just one more quick thing. That Giyotaka Winter Workshop, again, is coming up here from 11 to 1:30 on Saturday, December 14th. Go to CascadeHead.org and get your tickets. And that's just like an opportunity to make gift wrapping paper or really create artwork for your own home or gifts. And it's just a Giyotaka Winter Workshop at the Pelican. So just a beautiful afternoon there to be had.
And what a location.
Yeah.
What a location.
Just one other thing I wanted to mention. There's a group that's starting now. It's called the Central Oregon Coast Friends of the Night Sky. They're going to be holding their first meeting on this idea. That's going to be tonight, Thursday, November 21st at 6 p.m. at the Oregon Coast Community College campus there. So come learn a little bit about what it might mean to have our community become a night sky community and how to protect the skies for astronomy, conservation, and the like. So again, that's tonight, Thursday, November 21st. If you're listening to this today at 6 p.m. at the community college.
That'll do it to the doings on a Double R show. Please remember to like, subscribe, share so you, your family, and friends around the world and across the street can join us on a Double R show. For Paul, Jana, I am Double R. Have yourself a happy day.
You've been listening to The Double R Show. Join Roger and Paul Robertson as they explore everything about North Lincoln County. The Double R Show, produced by Always Productions and hosted by Roger Robertson. Have a story? Email contact@alwaysproductions.com or call 458-201-3039. For The Double R Show, I'm Jana Grahn.